So welcome, my friends, to Virtual Vinyasa. And today we are doing a special class to celebrate the full pink moon, which is tomorrow. And full moons are always a time every month or every time they kind of cycle around. It's a time for fruition and hopefully for some of the seeds that we've planted with the new moon, our intentions for things we want to cultivate in our lives to be fulfilled. And so this is a time to honor that. Also, it's the pink moon. That's why I'm wearing pink, and I have a pink necklace, and I have rose quartz pink and a rose worry stone, which I use sometimes, and a pendulum. But all of these things are um, helpful in, again, bringing to fruition what we're looking to bring into fruition in our lives, what we're looking to cultivate and feel that abundance of. And so we'll dedicate this class to that. And I'm just going to kind of allow whatever kind of bubbles up for me to flow on through. So the class has not been planned. It's going to be completely extemporaneous, which again I find can be a really beautiful way to see just what comes up and what evolves. And when you've practice certain things for a long time, or you have like a wellspring of knowledge in a subject, then you can kind of have the confidence that what needs to come through will come through. And for me, I feel like I can align myself with source, with my highest potential, God, whatever, however you want to describe it, this, or the universe, this greater source of wisdom and potentiality, that what needs to come through will come through with this heart-centeredness. And again, I think of the pink. For me, pink is the color of the heart chakra. It's pink, and it's also green, emerald green, but the rose quartz is the stone for the heart chakra. And so maybe taking our time and settling into our breath, settling into our bodies, rooting ourselves solidly into the earth, through our sits bones, through the base of our spine. Again, feeling that earth energy, that interconnection that we have with everyone on the planet, all beings, animals, plants, people, right? This beautiful Gaia matrix, they call it. And it's this just real interconnectedness, interbeingness. And the more that we can really feel that and live in a way that honors that interconnection, the better off probably the entire planet will be. So the more of us that can be this way. So maybe taking your breath in, lengthening your spine, connecting with your highest potential, connecting with your image of God or the divine source, whatever that means for you, connecting yourself with that on the in breath, and on the out breath, connecting yourself into the earth, into everything that makes you feel strong, stable, steady, and abundant. So I'll sound the singing bowl 3 times, and you can just allow the sound to penetrate your awareness. So for today, we're going to remain seated for the first several breath movement coordination exercises. And I like to begin this way sometimes because when we're seated, we can feel our sits bones, we can feel the base of our spine, our first chakra really rooted into the earth, whether we're seated on a block like I am or whatever, but this sense of connection, and then you can lightly touch the earth with your fingertips, right, and lengthen your spine. And we can inhale and reach up, and again, visualize yourself connecting with Source or God, your highest potential, and then bringing that energy down into your body, into your being. So exhaling and inhaling, reaching, exhaling, and inhaling. Okay, just do a couple more of these. And again, just visualizing that energy flowing. And you might even visualize like your arms like wings, wings of maybe an angel or a great bird, right? Maybe a phoenix rising and then descending, and then we're going to move into a gentle twist. We'll inhale and then exhale, gently twist to the right, bring the right hand to the base of the spine, again connecting with your first and second chakras, and then releasing. And listen, we'll roll the shoulders up, back, and down, kind of bring some energy into the shoulders and into the chest, and then we'll inhale, sweep high, and then we'll exhale, gently move into the twist to the left, left hand to the base of the spine. Again, full cycle of the breath. And then we'll release and roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Again, opening the heart center. Good. And we'll twist one more time each way. Inhale, sweep high. Exhale, move into your twist. Right hand to the base of the spine. Full cycle of the breath. And release, touching the earth. Inhale, sweep high. And then we'll exhale, gently twist. Full cycle of the breath. Great. And then we'll come back to center. Again, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Listen, we'll inhale, sweep the arms out to the side. And then we're going to exhale, give ourselves a little hug. Tuck the chin to the chest and gently maybe let's twist gently side to side. And then we'll release, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. If you can, take the hands behind you. If that's not good, just to your waist and just open up. Again, gazing upward, opening the heart. And then we'll exhale, release, and then recross. Give yourself a hug the other way. You know, again, hugging, they tell you that you need to have, I can't remember the number, but at least like 10 or more hugs a day is really good for your well-being. So if you don't have somebody to hug you, you could always hug yourself and express some self-compassion and love. So then we'll inhale and just gently walk the fingertips forward and come to a gentle fold. Breathe into the back body. And then we're going to inhale and lift our hips and remove our block and come into a comfortable table pose. So find your way into table, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And then we'll exhale, draw in, tuck the tailbone under. Inhale, release, heart forward, gaze forward. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, release out. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, release out. So just waking up your spine, noticing where you're holding, releasing tension on the exhalation, right? And then we'll come to a neutral spine. Inhale, and then walk the hands forward a few inches. We'll move into some circles. So engage your core, and then you inhale forward, exhale around and back, and just make the circles as large or small as feels right for you. Breathing in and breathing out. Again, just coordinating movement with breath, allowing your awareness to sweep through your body and gently let go of tension on your exhalation. And then when you finish this next circle, just pause at the top and then reverse, circle the other way. And again, one direction can feel a little different than the other. You're just moving with no judgment, just listening inwardly for guidance, doing what is right for you in the moment, exploring your edges, releasing tension on the exhalation. And then when you complete this next circle, just sit all the way back into some variation of child's pose that feels really good for you. So breathing in, feeling the expansion of the back body. Breathing out, gently releasing the tailbone down between the heels. Inhaling, expanding. Exhaling, releasing. Inhaling, expanding. Exhale, releasing. And then we'll inhale, come up onto our hands and knees. And for today, we'll release our forearms to the floor, stretch the legs on back, and then we'll come all the way down into a prone position. Elbows hug the body. Inhale, lift up, eyes, nose, chin, chest. So a little cobra and release down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release down. One last time. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release down, and then press yourself up and back into child's pose, and then tuck your toes under. Come into a gentle downward dog, more of a puppy dog. Inhale, bend the knees till the shins are parallel with the floor. Exhale, gently straighten your legs. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. One more time. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Great. And then we'll inhale, come into a plank position, engage your core. And then exhale, press back to downward dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale to downward dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale to downward dog. One last time. Inhale to plank. Exhale to downward dog, and then listen, we're going to inhale, release the knees to the floor. We're going to come into gate pose, so right hand under the right shoulder, extend out, lift the left arm, gaze upward, open, so this alignment is like triangle. And then exhale, gently thread your needle, take your left hand underneath the right armpit, inhale, open and expand. Exhale, thread your needle. Inhale, open and expand. Exhale, thread your needle. Inhale, open and expand. Exhale, thread your needle. And then open, and then take the bicep over the ear. Just get super duper long, like extended side angle. And then bring the arm up to 12. Circle a few times, just opening up that shoulder joint. And then release, come back into your table and do a couple of cat-cows. Good, and again, we're focusing on our core here, the third chakra, our power center. And then we'll come back into a plank position, engage, exhale, press back to downward dog. Inhale to plank, exhale to downward dog. Inhale to plank, exhale to downward dog. One last time, inhale to plank, exhale to downward dog, and then inhale to plank, release the knees to the floor, toes to the floor, left hand under the left shoulder, inhale, sweep the right arm high, open into your gate pose, feel that openness, and exhale, thread your needle, inhale, open, exhale, thread your needle, inhale, open, exhale, thread your needle. Good, one last time, inhale, open, exhale, thread your needle, and then open, and then take the bicep over the ear. Just get super duper long and bring the arm up to 12, circle a few times, great. And then we'll release, come back into your table pose. Again, do a couple of cat-cows in between sides. And then we're gonna inhale, step your right foot forward, and then draw the navel in and up. So this is like warrior one. So we're lifting, and then we're opening up that left hip, and then we'll sweep the arms high and just settle in. Inhale, reaching higher. Good. Exhale. We'll gently twist to the right. Again, right hand to the base of the spine. Good. Bringing lots of energy into our third chakra, into our internal organs. Then come back to center. Step the right foot back, step the left foot forward. Draw the navel in and up. Right, so you get that hip flexor stretch. And then sweep. And settle. Inhale, reaching higher, and then move into your twist. Again, left hand to the base of the spine, the first chakra. And breathe and release. And I always think of like wringing out a wet washcloth here. We're bringing lots of energy into the internal organs, and come back to center. and release the hands to the floor. Tuck the toes of the right foot under, and then step your right foot forward, and then come into ragdoll. Let your head be heavy and your knees soft, and gently just sway a little bit side to side. Great. And then release your fingertips to the floor. Great. Coming into a gentle fold, round, and then inhale, lengthen the spine, lift the heart a bit, exhale, fold, and then keeping your knees soft, slowly walk yourself up, up, up. So you come up one vertebra at a time, and then inhale, sweep high, and exhale, hands to your heart, and then let's take several cycles of the breath here in our standing mountain pose. Let's connect. And breathe and root down. And before we move into our sun salutation A, I'm just going to share with you all. I don't think I've ever shared this before, but a long time ago when I was at the Omega Institute doing actually a yoga retreat, I got this beautiful photo of Thich Nhat Hanh, the Buddhist monk, a Vietnamese Buddhist monk, who did so much for the peace movement around the world, and all of his teachings are still shared. And I just share that because for me, every time I look at the photo, I just feel his presence and feel there's this gentle but powerful presence, and he was an ambassador of peace who didn't take any sides and just through his actions and teachings influenced so many people. So when I look at him, I always think about the power of one, like one person. Like we might think that each of us can't make a difference in the world, that we're too small, we don't have enough money or power, but it really isn't true. One person can make a big difference. And so I always look at that photo and use it for inspiration, thinking that, what I do matters, and then we're going to get going. But also I think of like Jane Goodall, who just turned 91, and she's like going stronger than ever. And because, she really knows that she has something powerful to share with the world to help save our planet, and she's not stopping, right? So again, I think of her, she's like a Thich Nhat Hanh who just, she has her vision and mission, and one woman is doing a lot. So we'll use all that for inspiration today with our full pink moon, pulling in that energy into us. So we'll inhale, sweep high, and then exhale, fold, and length, and release. And step right foot back, left foot back, come into your plank, lower to the floor, inhale to your extension of the spine, then exhale, find your way to downward dog, good. And then we'll inhale, take the right leg high, we'll focus on our core a bit more today, our strength. Exhale, bring the right knee to the right elbow, inhale, lengthen up, exhale, right knee straight ahead toward the nose. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, lengthen up. And then return the foot to the floor. Release the knees. And then step the right foot forward. Come into your lunge. Listen. Exhale, gently straighten the right knee, send the right sits bone back. Inhale, sink into your lunge. Exhale, straighten that right knee. Inhale, sink into your lunge. Exhale, straighten that right knee. Inhale, sink into your lunge, and then gently step the left foot forward. Come into your fold. Inhale, length. Exhale, release. Root and rise. Sweep high. Great. And then exhale, hands to your heart. Again, connect with the earth through your feet. Feel the earth energy rising up through the legs and then into the first chakra, so the earth. And then the second chakra, the water, creativity, yin, feminine, very moon energy here. And then into the solar plexus, the third chakra, the power center, the fire. And then into your heart, the pink and the green, the heart-centeredness, and then the throat, and then the third eye, and then the crown of the head, again connecting. And then we'll do another round, all leading left. Inhale, sweep high, and exhale, fold, and length, and release. Left foot steps back, right foot steps back, come into your plank, lower to the floor, inhale to your extension of the spine, exhale, find your way to your downward dog, and then inhale the left leg high, diagonal hip square, exhale left knee to the left elbow, inhale lengthen up, exhale left knee straight ahead toward the nose, inhale lengthen up, exhale left knee right elbow, inhale lengthen up, great, and then return the left foot to the floor, release the knees and toes, step the left foot up between your hands. If you need blocks, have blocks on either side. You're in a lunge. Exhale, gently straighten that left knee. Inhale, sink into your lunge. Exhale, straighten the left knee. Inhale, sink into your lunge. Exhale, straighten the left knee. Inhale, sink into your lunge one last time. And then come into your lunge. Step your right foot forward. Come into your fold. Inhale, length. Exhale, release. Root and rise. Sweep high. And exhale, hands to your heart. Great. And then we'll interlace our fingers and bring the index fingers together. So temple, hands, and inhale, get long. Exhale, hands right, hips left, like a crescent moon. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, open, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, open. Inhale, center. Exhale, open. Right. Inhale, center. Listen. Take the hands behind your head so you open up through your chest and shoulders. Again, focusing really a lot on that heart chakra opening. And then exhale gently. Bring the elbows forward. Tuck the chin to the chest. A little stretch for your neck. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. And exhale, close, great. And then we'll gently roll the shoulders up, back, and down, great. And then we'll take the hands either behind us, clasp the fingers, or put your hands on your hips, depending on what's good for your shoulders, right? And then we'll do a little baby back bend, and then exhale, fold forward about a quarter of the way from the strength of your legs. Inhale, rise, and exhale, fold. One last time, inhale, rise, and exhale, fold. Good, one last time, inhale, rise, little baby back bend, awesome, open the chest, shoulders, and then listen, we're gonna soften, and we're gonna come in and out of chair pose, which is like a squat in kind of exercise. So we're going to come in and out of a squat or chair pose several times. And again, this practice can be a really great practice to do anytime you have a chance to do it because it really is so functional, right? So it teaches us what good alignment is, our second and third toe, the center of our ankle, center of our knee, hips, shoulders all lined up. It's also really helpful to strengthen all of the muscles and tendons, ligaments that keep our knees healthy and keep our back healthy, right? And strengthen all these big muscles that are so important. So we're going to just come into a chair pose or a squat. And then like in exercise physiology, Western, we're going to exhale as we stand. So yoga sometimes is a little bit different. There's a different mentality behind the breathing. The most important things, we're coming in and out of a squat. The most important thing, if you ever have questions about the breathing and it feels counterintuitive, I always tell people the most important thing is that you breathe in and breathe out. So if you're not quite syncing the way I'm cueing, that's okay. You do it your way for now, but just keep on breathing. Right, and then we'll do it one last time, and then we're going to settle into our chair, and now we lock back into yoga. Inhale, rise, and then exhale, fold, and lengthen, release, and right foot steps back, left foot steps back, and then we're going to come into side plank or gate pose, again, whichever is better for you. So you walk the right hand in, and then lift the hips and open if you can. Breathe. And then come back into your plank or your table. Find your way to downward dog. Inhale the right leg high, diagonal, and bend the right knee, stack the right hip over the left and open. And then square your hips. And if you can, just step the right foot up between the hands, shorten your stance, and set your feet up for warrior one. Again, so taking your time, connecting with the earth through your feet, and then bringing that energy into the first, second, third chakras, and then reaching high, and then softening the gaze, and finding that place, the perfect balance between effort and ease, the hard and the soft. Again, yoga gives us this very tangible way of exploring opposites and then finding that place right in the middle, right? Not too much, not too little, not too hard, not too soft. Breathing, unifying, and then we'll gently straighten our right leg, take the hands behind you, open up through the chest, and then exhale, fold out over the right thigh. Inhale, rise, little baby back bend, open. Exhale, fold out over the right thigh. Inhale, rise, little baby back bend, open. Last time. Great, and then rise and bring your hands to your heart and then open into warrior two. Look out over the right fingertips and then inhale, reverse your warrior. Great, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. One last time, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse, great, and then keep that right knee soft. We're going to come into triangle. So if you like to have a block, you can have a block on the inside of the right leg. The important thing is you don't lock the knee out, right? So soft, straight, and then glide the hips to the left, reach right, open, and then rooting to the earth, reverse, take the left hand behind the waist, reach the right arm high. Great, come back, glide the hips, come into triangle number two. Great, and then rise, reverse, reach, and one last time, coming into triangle number three. Awesome. And then we'll inhale, rise, listen, soften, and then we're going to come into crescent lunge. So again, we can keep a block close by if that's helpful. Release the left knee to the floor, and then draw the navel in and up, interlace the fingers, index fingers together, and then settle in. Inhale, reaching higher. Exhale, right, just opening up. And then we're going to come into grasshopper. So we're going to walk our right foot forward a little bit or the left knee back. Again, having a block can be very helpful. So place the block on the inside of the right leg. And then if you can, release the forearms to the floor. And again, find that place of right effort in action. So not too much of a stretch, but enough where you feel like you can move into it. You're challenging your edge a bit. You can pull your breath into the tension on the inhalation. You can soften some of the tension on your exhalation, so it's a place you can work. And then we're going to find our way into pigeon from here. So come up, take the right foot back, and then there are many ways to come into pigeon. So if you like to come into pigeon from downward dog, by all means do that. For me, the easiest way to come into pigeon from this position is just to take the left foot back, flip the right foot in, and then slide on back. And again, you want to listen. You don't want to feel any stress in this front knee. So if you need to have a block and place the block or a cushion or blankets under the right buttocks, you do that. And again, find this place where you can just completely surrender and let go and breathe. And if you're familiar and comfortable with the ocean breath, the Ujjayi breath, the victorious breath, pulling that breath into this pose, letting go. Again, remembering that when we surrender and let go, it doesn't mean at all that we don't care. In fact, it really means, for me at least, that we're making space for grace, making space for God, making space for the divine to just come in and maybe bring things together in ways that we can't even imagine, right? We just, our little selves and our ego and all of this stuff we try to control and manipulate and whatever. And it's not that we don't want to ever act, we do, but again, with the full moon and the water energy, the intuitive energy, the yin, feminine, again, bringing that maybe that divine feminine force into your body and into your being and trusting, opening up to greater possibilities. So then, if you wish, you can come up and just lift the gaze and open up a little bit through the opposite hip. If you like to catch your back foot, you can. The important thing though is that your shoulders stay pretty square, as square as possible. So you don't want to kind of torque if you're going to catch your back foot. And then we'll gently release, listen, come back into table, do a couple of cat-cows. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, release. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, release, listen, exhale, draw in, and then inhale, release, and then we're going to come into a wide-kneed child's pose, bring the big toes together, and then let the arms be soft and make a little pillow with your forearms for your forehead. And again, just breathe, settling in. Again, if you can, cultivate the ocean breath, cultivating the ocean breath. The victorious breath, that breath that strengthens and fortifies your intuition, your inner knowing, your ability to connect with your authentic self, your truth. And then we'll come back into a regular child's pose, walk the feet in, the knees in, come into table, and then listen, we'll tuck our toes under, come into downward dog, and then just gently walk your feet up, 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 so they end up near your hands. Inhale, heart forward, gaze forward, exhale, release, root into the earth, rise, sweet pie. And then exhale, hands to your heart. And then listen, before we go into the whole sequence leading left, let's just come into a standing mountain pose, but turn our palms forward. And again, drop in. And like when we were in pigeon pose, Raja Kapotasana, just surrendering, just really opening. I love the standing with your palms forward like this, because for me at least, it feels like this big opening, and surrendering and allowing for the higher wisdom to come in, your greatest potential, right? Soft, steady, rooted, rising. And then we'll do the whole sequence leading with the left. So we'll come into our chair pose. We won't go in and out this time of the squats because we did both legs last time. So we're going to inhale, just rise, and then exhale, fold and length and release. Left foot steps back, right foot steps back. Again, come into your side plank or gate pose so the hand is underneath the shoulder. And then inhale, lift and breathe. And then come back into your table or plank. Find your way to downward dog. Inhale the left leg high. Then the left knee stack the left hip over the right open. And then square your hips. Step the left foot forward. Turn the back foot in. Set your feet up for warrior one. And then reach up and settle in. And then gently straighten that left leg. Take the hands behind you. Open up. Exhale, fold out over your left thigh. Inhale, rise, little baby back bend. Awesome. Exhale, fold out over your left thigh. Inhale, rise. One last time. Good. And then rise. Bring your hands to your heart. We'll open into warrior two. Inhale, reach both arms high. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach one last time, coming into warrior two. Awesome. And then slightly straighten the left leg. You're going to set yourself up for triangle on the left, gliding the hips right open and come to the lower leg. Just keep a little softness in that left knee. Inhale, rise, reverse, right hand behind the waist, left arm high. Awesome. And then come back into your triangle, number two. And then inhale, rise, reverse, reach. And then come back one last time into triangle number three. Great. And then rise. And then soften that left knee. Lift the right hip off the floor. And then come in again. Set yourself up for your crescent lunge. Draw the navel in and up. Interlace the fingers. Index fingers together. Open. Inhale, reaching higher. Exhale, releasing. Great, and then set yourself up for grasshopper. Again, it can be helpful to have a block or something to elevate, and then bring both arms to the inside of the left leg. Again, finding that place where you can just gently work, no strain, no stress, just this gentle, gentle place where you can pull the breath in, release tension on your exhalation. And then when you're ready, come up, come out. And again, you're going to be preparing yourself to come into pigeon. Again, whatever way that might be. So the last time I demoed coming into pigeon from table pose, this time I'll demo, but you do what's right for you. If you came into pigeon or you like to come into pigeon from downward dog, you would be here. And then you could inhale the left leg high and then bend the knee and then kind of send that left leg through and then settle in. Again, the most important thing is that there's no stress or any kind of strain in that front knee. So you need to do whatever that takes. And if pigeon just isn't good for your knee, then the option you can always choose to come into, well, this way, would be to just take the ankle over the opposite knee and then take the knee off the floor. So we still get into the same muscles as when you're in pigeons, same connective tissue deep in the buttocks, the external hip rotators. The piriformis is just one of 6 of those muscles, but the piriformis tends to be the muscle that most people talk about because it is very close to the sciatic nerve. So it can create some tension there. Again, just surrendering. And then if you wish, walking your hands back and then coming into more of a hip flexor stretch for the front leg. Beautiful, opening up the heart, right? Lifting the gaze. And then we'll release, great. And again, come back into table and then come into a wide-kneed child's pose. Again, make a little pillow and surrender. Maybe cultivating the ocean breath And then come back up onto your hands and knees. Knees are directly underneath the hips. Tuck your toes under. Come into your downward dog and then gently walk the feet up, up, up. Come into your fold and then inhale, length. Exhale, release. Root into the earth. Rise, sweep high. Exhale, hands to your heart. And then again, come into your standing mountain pose. Turn your palms forward and drop in. And connecting with the earth, soft knees, that energy just flowing freely up and down, what they call the Sushumna, that's the central channel. And it's like this energetic tube that connects down into the earth, into the first chakra, and then rises up and then connects with your highest potential. And when all the chakras are aligned and open and all of the energy is flowing freely, then you have this amazing connection with yourself on the physical plane as well as yourself and more of the spiritual plane, very earthbound, but then rising and then just visualizing that energy just flowing freely up and down. And when that energy flows freely up and down, then it nourishes every cell in your body, right? And what's interesting is the Sushumna, which is a Sanskrit term, corresponds with the central nervous system. So, however you want to look at it, the health of your central nervous system is key to everything that goes on in your body because it starts way up in your brain stem and then finishes off way down at your tailbone, your coccyx, right? So just all that energy flowing. So then we're going to do a little balance challenge before we do our moon salutations. And so today, because I'm thinking really of Earth energy and Earth Day is coming up in just a little less than 2 weeks on the 22nd. So thinking of that Earth energy and thinking of all our beautiful trees on our planet, right? Our trees that bring so much nourishment, that help us with our breathing in all the oxygen that we need, right? So we're going to embody and express our tree, whatever tree that might be. So you can maybe visualize a tree in your mind's eye. It could be a big evergreen tree. It could be a great oak tree or a sequoia. Again, really doesn't matter, but just visualize some tree in your mind's eye and then bring that image of the tree into your body, and then you express that tree as best you can. The foot can be below the knee or above the knee, but you just don't want to have the foot right on the knee joint itself. So above or below. And then just settle in, soft, steady gaze, smooth and even breath, and pulling all of those qualities of the tree in your mind's eye, pulling that in. And then just like trees, like we talked about at the beginning of class, if you could maybe visualize the roots coming out through the right foot and those imaginary roots kind of connecting you with living beings all over the world, all over our planet. Something I learned recently was that trees have this root system, and that trees, like trees in a forest, all their roots kind of intertwine and interact and interconnect with each other. And again, together they're so much stronger than they are if they were just standing all by themselves. So trees in a forest. And whenever you feel like you've done enough, shake things out, move the energy around. Again, the other day, last week, we talked about the wiggles and the wiggles of any sort. It can really help you. Something, again, I introduced last week anytime you're feeling stressed or tension, or you feel like, particularly like joints are bothering you, like sometimes when I'm doing a lot of massages back to back, find that just kind of noticing I'm holding and then just shaking a little bit. So shaking your legs out, shaking your head, shaking your shoulders, whatever can just feel really good. So maybe doing that and then coming back into Tadasana, closing your eyes, and then for me at least, I can feel the energy. Like after you've shaken, you feel like this kind of scintillating energy in your body, this little kind of sparkly or kind of humming, whatever you kind of equate that with, but it's this sense of aliveness, right? So much time, so many times we hold all this tension in our bodies because we stay in one position for way too long, like sitting at a computer, right? And we're just sitting in one position and our shoulders go up to our ears and we create all this tension in our neck, right? So if we could just maybe every once in a while get up and realize that we need to shake things out and move that energy and then return, we don't build up so much tension. So then we're going to set ourselves up to do our tree on the other side. So again, visualizing your tree in your mind's eye and then embodying your tree. Soft, steady gaze, smooth and even breath. Your hands can be at your heart center. And if they are, it can really help to kind of press your thumbs into your sternum, right? So feel that energetic connection, kind of like a magnet, two magnets coming together. Oh, goodness. And then whenever you're ready, you're going to shake things out a little bit. Time flies when we're having fun. I didn't even realize that when I looked down, like it's 10:27. How did that happen? I really don't know. Yeah. So we have to do our moon salutations to honor our beautiful pink full moon, right? So we're going to do our moon salutation just so you know what's coming up, and then we'll do a little bit of seated meditation mantra work, and then we're going to finish our class off a little differently than usual. So, but let's start by coming to the center of our mat or facing the right or the left. If you reorient your mat, whatever works, and then have a block on the right side if you need a block, and then we'll interlace our fingers, index fingers together, squeeze the ears between the biceps, and then exhale gently, fold to the right, inhale center, and fold to the left, inhale center, step your feet apart, come into your five-pointed star, right, and then flip your heels in, toes out, female warrior, again, all of that earth energy coming up and into the second chakra, and then gently straighten and come into your triangle, right, and then fold over your front thigh, and then inhale, come into a lunge, high or low, walk the hands over to the left side, lift the toes to the right foot, over, lift the toes again, listening to your body, your knees in particular, and then coming back into your lunge, shortening your stance, folding out over your left thigh, inhale, rise, open, and then exhale, come up, flip the heels in, toes out, female warrior, and then come into five-pointed star, and then soften the knees, step or jump. The feet together will flow right on through. Inhale, rise, exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, exhale, fold the other way. Inhale, rise, step the feet apart, five-pointed star. Your third chakra is the center of your star. Flip the heels in, toes out, female warrior. Exhale, come into your triangle. Take your time, and then fold out over the left thigh. Inhale, rise, come into a lunge, high or low. Walk the hands over to the right, lift the toes of the left foot. Over to the left, lift the toes of the right foot. End up over on the right, pivot, shorten your stance, fold, and come up into your triangle. Right, and then exhale, come up to standing. Flip the heels and toes out. Five-pointed star. Right, inhale, step or jump the feet together. And bring the hands to your heart and drop in. Right, and then listen before we go to the floor. We're going to do a little practice that maybe you could practice on your own as a total separate practice, maybe after you're warm, after you've gone for a walk or any kind of exercise. You do want to be warm before you would do this, but it's a really good functional fitness uh, movement sequence that you can do that helps us, particularly as we're getting older and we want to keep our flexibility and our strength so we can play with our grandchildren and get up and down off the floor. So basically we just start with the feet together and then you just heel toe the feet out, and then you're going to drop, take your time and drop your tailbone down between your heels, right? Which if you need something under, like towels under your heels, you could have those, right? But you want to drop in, and then if you can from here, centered, reach your right arm up, reach your left arm up, and then come all the way up to standing. Good, and then heel toe the feet together, and we'll bring the hands to the heart. Great. And then another variation of this, again, if you're warm, inhale, reach up, and then exhale, fold forward, come into a fold, like a forward fold. This is all stretching for the back of the legs and the lower back. And now heel toe your feet out, and then come back again into, this is called malasana in yoga. So settling in, and then reach the left arm high, reach the right arm high, straighten the legs, squeeze, and then heel toe the feet in and come back. Right, so those are two variations. So then we're going to come to our mats, have your block close by. So we're going to come to a seated position, and we're going to do a little bit of pranayama and then a little bit of seated meditation, and then we're going to go to the floor. And as I said, we're going to end a little bit differently than I usually end a class. So just little heads up for people who have taken my classes before. So we first start by just taking our seat just like we did in the beginning of class, closing your eyes or gazing downward. And then the breath that is usually associated with the new moon and the full moon is the alternate nostril breath, Nadi Shodhanam. And again, this breath, there's so many breaths that I love, but this breath in particular is the breath that works to balance or unify, bring together the masculine and the feminine energies in our bodies, the yin and the yang, the right and left hemispheres of our brain, and the right and left sides of our body. But the idea is that the breath is just gently kind of bringing whatever needs to come into more balance, bringing it into more balance. So everything is always kind of in flux. So different times of our lives, different times, whatever of the day, we can be different. So this breath just helps to balance everything out. So thinking of that. So taking your right hand and you'll form the Vishnu mudra, your left hand, the Chin mudra, so your left hand stays on your left knee, and the right hand, your right thumb controls the nostril, right nostril, and your ring finger, the left, so it's comfortable, right? So we'll breathe in through both nostrils and breathe out. And then inhale, close the right, inhale left, 2, 3, 4, close left, exhale right, 2, 3, 4, inhale right, 2, 3, 4, close right, exhale left, 2, 3, 4, inhale left, close left, exhale right, inhale right, close right, exhale left, inhale left, close left, exhale right, inhale right, close right, exhale left, inhale left, close left, exhale right, inhale right, close right, exhale left, inhale left, close left, exhale right, inhale right, close right, exhale left, inhale left, close left, exhale right, inhale right, close right, exhale left. One last cycle, inhale left, close left, exhale right, inhale right, close right, exhale left, and then release, return the hand, the right hand to the leg, and then we'll get to a comfortable seated meditation posture. Again, whatever works for you. And we'll just take about a minute to drop in and connect using our breath as our anchor, which is kind of traditional mindfulness-based meditation, or using a mantra. If you have a mantra that you are familiar with and works well for you, using your mantra. The most important thing is that you just do your best to drop in and anchor your awareness in the present moment. And one thing that I was reminded of yesterday that I've heard many times, but it's always good to hear things again in this spirituality and healing community led by a wonderful psychotherapist, Jungian analyst, Matt Licata. And he was just sharing like the value of sprinkling little moments of mindfulness and meditation into your day, like many, many times a day, like even 30 seconds or a minute can be really, really powerful. And, you don't have to, kind of the traditional guidance around meditation was that you had to meditate every day, 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night. And not that that's not valuable, but for many people that becomes an obstacle and they set that themselves up for failure because they're like, if I don't do that, if I don't meditate 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening every day, then I'm not doing it right. And they just totally fall off the wagon and don't do anything. So again, it just was this nice reminder that giving yourself just a minute or 30 seconds several times a day to drop in can be so, so helpful, right? And doable. So then listen, we're going to remove our seat support if we're seated and just listen so you know what's coming up so you can set yourself up and you can make choices here. So here's the choice point. We're kind of coming toward the end of class and I'm going over time. So our choices are: one, you can choose to set yourself up for supported bridge pose, which according to Emily Rideout, Astra Yoga, that's the pose that corresponds with the pink full moon. So if you want to come into a supported bridge, and then if you want to, come with your legs up, you can. But my thought is that I want you to come into a pose that feels very restorative for you. So that's option one is supported bridge or legs up the wall, but you're going to stay there for like at least 5 minutes. The other option, if you don't want to do that, is to set yourself up for Shavasana, and you can just come into that. So with that choice point, we're going to do one or the other. So I'm not we're not going to do bridge and then Shavasana like we normally do. So here if you're watching the recording, I'm thinking in particular, it's your choice what would feel really good for you to do today to honor your body and give yourself a few minutes, about 5 minutes, to just completely surrender and let go. So whatever that looks like for you, again, either the supported bridge or legs up the wall, if you do that, or Shavasana with a block or bolster under your knees, maybe covering yourself with another layer of clothing or a blanket. If you have a eye pillow, covering your eyes, maybe settling in. And then my thought as we're here, I am going to recite the Ganapati mantra 108 times. So again, I was reminded of this today. So the first chakra is all about surrendering and removing obstacles. And again, with our full moon, we won't need to remove all those obstacles so that we can bring into fruition what we're desiring, and we can nourish those seeds of intention with as much kind of fertilizer, water, strength, vitality as possible. So this is Ganesh, and Ganesh is just a Hindu deity. You can Google Ganesh if you want. There's a huge story behind Ganesh and all the rest. But bottom line, this deity is the remover of all obstacles. And they believe when they chant to them, that's removing all the obstacles, anything that's standing in the way of what you're looking to cultivate in your life. So as you're releasing, you can just listen to this chant. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 namaha, Om Gam Ganapatiye 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 namaha. So then when you're ready, you can maybe wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, rotate your head side to side. Do any gentle movements to bring a little more energy into your body. And then eventually roll onto your right side, surrendering the right side of the body, the masculine doer side, opening up the left, receptive feminine yin water, intuitive moon side, and then coming back up into a comfortable seated position, taking your seat, embodying your seated mountain, again connecting with the earth through your sits bones, connecting with your highest potential through the crown of your head. And then I'm gonna just really open up to whatever page from What's True Here, whatever I open to, I'll read, and if it speaks to you, let it penetrate, and if it doesn't, just let it go. So I opened up to, here we are, Victory, page 27. Victory to the soul's journey. Victory to all those who make the bold attempt to know the One with a capital O. Victory to sunlight and summer rains, to the blooming of flowers and the hunting flights of hoot owls. May curiosity be victorious over fear and clear seeing over confusion. Victory to creative energy and to poems that spring full blown from the unknown. Victory to open hearts and generous impulses, to kindness and to love. In the name of all that is sacred, in the illumination of the great and glorious source, I pray that each one of us find our way home to the mystery whose presence never wanes. So may all beings everywhere who we are inextricably connected with, may all beings be happy, may all beings be healthy, may all beings be free of suffering, and may all beings know that they are loved and connected with a greater source than themselves. So may it be so. Namaste.
Namaste.
Okay.